All right, what's going on, everybody? This is the voice of choice, Sean Faison, and we are here live at Montvale Lanes here in Montvale, New Jersey for the tour stop of the New Jersey Northeast Division. We're going to be checking out the Arsenal versus the Takeover, DTO. And we're going to be checking out the scratch pair first. Representing the Arsenal, we got Jeff Morin, Robert Boehm, and Nick Gavron. And representing the Takeover, the Takeover. Got to put an emphasis on the duh. We got Brian Koch. We got Mike Patowski the third. Hey, Audrey almost slapped me. Mike Patowski the third, former Northeast Heavyweight Champion, and Paul Adams at anchor. Should be a pretty interesting contest. We're going to have, a lot of strikes being thrown. The Arsenal known for firing off. They got the cannon on their jersey. But the Takeover, looking to take over in this first meeting for the season against the Arsenal. Let's lay it out. We have Jeff Morin starting off, average 243. Robert Boehm, average 239. And Nick Gavron, averaging 242. We got some heavy hitters over there, but not to be outdone. And formidable opponents. Also on paper, we got 229 for Brian Koch, 228 for Mike Patowski III, and Paul Adams coming in at 234. So nothing under 225. Let's see what that looks like in this contest on the lanes. Everything is great on paper, but it's always good to see how it transfers and hand transpires on the lanes. Shout out to everybody who did check out the live stream of the doubleheader that we had in the inaugural season of the Empire District up there in Schenectady, New York. For those who didn't see that, we had, in their first ever stream in the first ever Empire District, we did have, shout out to them, my guys, the Aliens, Area 518. And they took 40 points from Devil's Rejects. And in our second part of that doubleheader, we did feature, and we do hope that you go back to look at it, we did feature Beast Mode. And Beast Mode was in a nail-biter against the Royalty. And that ended up being a 24-16 result in favor of the Royalty. And the Royalty did squeeze by that by taking Total Wood by 2 pins. When you need everything, you need everything. And we look forward to seeing both teams showing you how to get everything on one shot. Even if it's in two, make sure that you close out all your boxes. And we're going to start off right now. Brian Koch representing the Takeover on lane 16. And starting off with a defiant 4-pin. Coming in a little light, mixing it up. Let's see, Jeff Morin up on lane 15. Up the boards, and we got a 10-pin. So 2 shots thrown, 18 pins knocked down between the two of them. No problem on that 4-pin to start for Brian Koch. Morin up. And no problem on his 10-pin. So things you always want to see if you're putting together a scratch pair, people who not only can strike a lot, but can make key shots at key moments. And we all know every shot is a key shot. Up on the left lane, lane 15 that is, we got Robert Boehm. And ball coming in nice and flush, pushing all 10 pins back off the rack for Robert Boehm. Former Northeast Heavyweight Champion Mike Patowski. I don't know if I could say crossing the bridge, being that we're already over the bridge, speaking for myself. But that, I guess, we'll give respect. As in Rome, say as the Romans say and do as they do. We're going to call that a Brooklyn strike, only for today. And Nick Gavron showing that he has revs for days. And he's got fingers for sale. And Paul Adams up on lane 16 and answering Nick's strike with one of his own. So identical start for both teams. Dead even start. 9 spare at the top for both leadoff bowlers. Strike and strike for both second and third bowlers. All right, we got Koch up on lane 15. Let's see if we can get one more than he did before. And he definitely does, taking out the 7-9, dropping late. And we got Jeff Morin up on lane 16. Oh, and mercifully getting the 7 out. Almost was a 7-10 leave. Had a little slight lob over the fronts. Definitely getting down the lane, keeping the ball in play, as I like to say. Don't know if he wants to poke the bear early and try to get a stronger entry angle. We'll see what he decides to do as the game goes on. Morin up, and again, no problem on his 10-pin. So no problem filling boxes and getting spares. Former Northeast heavyweight champion Patulski up. Second frame for Mike. All right, gets the ball out a little more, adjusting off of what he threw the first one, leaving a 10-pin. We got Boehm up on 16. Boehm up and getting the 7 to drop late, but that is okay. Better late than never. Mike Patulski focusing on his 10-pin. Let's see how it looks going up. And the spare ball holds on just for one more board, and it takes the 10-pin out. So double for Boehm. Strike spare for Mike. Let's see what Nick does right here. Let's see if he keeps the strike party going. And the 10-pin just hangs around, wants some camera time, I see. And Paul Adams. Oh, a double to Nick's strike and spare. Paul Adams, as well as Mike Patulski, like to play from the inside. Play what I like to call a little inside-out shot, wet to dry. Nick dropped the shoulder a bit, but enough power and speed to get to that 10-pin, no problem. And back on lane 15, let's see what Jeff Morin has in store. Morin going up and burying that one. So we did go for a stronger angle. Seeing that he left the 10-pin twice, he realized he had a little wiggle room in terms of maybe inching his feet maybe to the right. Definitely taking out the 10-pin that one. There was no doubt about that. Let's see what happens with Brian Koch up on lane 16. Oh, gets the ball in a little tight, takes a little sharp cut, and the return of the 4-pin for Brian Koch. And Robert Boehm up on lane 15. Starting out 2 frames, 2 strikes. Trying to pave his road to perfection early. Let's see if he keeps it going. And no problem. So far, his shots are looking like copy and paste. And all over the 4-pin was Brian Koch. So right now, Robert Boehm starting strike, strike, and strike. 3 frames, 3 strikes. We got Nick Gavron himself, a former champion in his own right, former tag team champion. And Pins never stood a chance on that one. Smash in the pocket right there. All power, all drive, firing it like the cannon on his shirt. Mike Patulski up, getting it inside, and just can't seem to get the 10-pin out. Ken MP the third. Both teams seem to have pretty strong scratch pairs. They know how to make shots with purpose, and purposeful shots a lot of times will end up get into what your goal is. Your goal is a victory. All right. Shout out to all teams that so far have had tour stops. We want to thank all of you who are either returning teams or new teams that just started up. And if you ever have a franchise in your area that you want to start up, or if you want to even maybe start up a division, come on down. We got plenty of room for you. UBA all day. All right. We'll just take a little sneak peek over here at Handicap pair number 1 just to see what's going on. Not as many strikes being thrown. Matter of fact, we had a Richard Nixon on one side, and we have a Josh Malik on the other. Good old 8-10. Let's see what Lipinski can do. And he opts to use a little 10-pin practice on that one. All right, and we'll definitely be back at the handicap pairs to show you what's going on later on. While we're over here at the scratch pairs, we're going to talk about the Arsenal. The Arsenal is known for being one of the toughest teams in this division, but this is also a very tough division. You got Exit Wounds, you got Murder Inc. What else? You have Train Wreck. What was in this division, and they were doing their thing. Shout out to all the Jersey teams. As we wait to see what's going to happen with the 10-pin here, we want to thank everyone for taking their Sunday out to check this out. Shout out to everything, and shout out to everybody that's watching. And speaking of watching, we're going to take a little peek over here at Audrey Snell, one half of the former tag team champions, and unfortunately leaving a 10-pin on that. Ball coming in nice. One thing about Audrey, she's always going to make a playable shot. Let's see what happens over here on the other side. We have James Ocasio. Wow, starting out with 3 in a row itself. So keys to making a great handicap pair. And as we said, and as we discussed before with Gabe, as Audrey is all over her 10-pin, Gabe Christoco, as part of the now Empire District, he said with handicap pairs, yes, you do need handicap. You do need people that get pins, but you also need people who know how to keep the ball in play and take advantage of situations. You need that good blend of good handicap as well as bowlers that are team players. You need team players on everything. And we have Matthew Rodriguez up. And Matthew Rodriguez, first shot on camera, no problem. Up on lane number 18. Let's see if Lipinski is on over his 10-pin. And, takes a sharp turn left last second for Robert Lipinski. If we didn't get a chance to introduce those bowlers, we will later on, and we will show you what's going on with both Handicap 1 and Handicap 2. We are going to take a look over back to the 10-pin that was left by Mike Potosky III. One thing to never get is discouraged about more strikes being thrown than your team at the time. You want to keep closing frames and keep closing boxes just in case anybody makes a mistake. No mistake there on the 10-pin by Mike. Well, Well, all right, and we're gonna take another little sneak peek over at Handicap pair number 1, and the anchor for the Arsenal is the only one right now for the Arsenal that has left an open. Actually, no opens right now for the Arsenal. Let's see if James Ocasio can continue his road to perfection. Ocasio up. Just that ball a little tight. And was looking at a potential 4 in a row. 9 count mercifully for James Ocasio. And taking a look over at the anchor now for the scratch pair, we got Paul Adams. Paul Adams started out with 2 in a row, and that delay did not slow him down. Gets a little mixy right there with that strike. So right now, both sides, in terms of overall score, looking dead even. So up on lane 15 for the takeover. Brian Koch going back up. Strike, spare strike for him. And wow, that 10 pin is definitely standing up and fighting. 59 in the third frame for him, plus 9 so far. Up on lane 16, we got Jeff Morin, the Arsenal. Made an adjustment before. And wow, these 10 pins really fighting back. Morin and Koch both leaving 10 pins. Koch probably could have made a 7-10 the way he hit that. So Jeff Koch taking his 10 pin out. Let's see if Morin can keep the same energy with his 10 pin. Nobody has yet to blink in terms of any open frames on the scratch pair, which is what you would expect with scratch pairs when you're putting them together. And all over his 10 pin. So right now, it's shot for shot, and they're matching things up. And Mike Petoskey up, and takes a chance, comes in a little sharper, and takes everything out right there. So strike, spare, strike for Mike Petoskey. So it's got 59 plus 10 already. And let's see if Robert Boehm can continue. Well, let's see if he can stay clean, stay perfect. He's already clean, but he's trying to stay perfect. Let's see what Robert does. Rob Boehm loses a little balance there, but you know what? Maybe that's just his style. He's bowling with style. He's got the cool hat on, and he's showing you how he can two-step, and he can knock down 10 pins. And Paul Adams, the first leave that is less than 9, a 2-4-5 leave for Paul Adams. And that hurts because he was on 3 in a row. So that may give a slight edge, and I do mean slight, so far in this match for the Arsenal. Let's see if Nick can jump all over that. He didn't like it out the hand. Mercifully did not leave a 4-10. Might have been a little too eager on that one. And wait a minute, our first open of the match left by Paul Adams. So that helped Nick breathe a little easier and can breathe a little, exhale a little more with that misstep by Paul Adams. Yeah, and we got Jeff Morin up, back on lane 15. Jeff up. He said he's going to give it one more go with that ball, and I think that shot is going to make him stay a couple more frames with that piece. And Koch up. Koch asks everybody, how's he doing? We say he's doing just fine. He's keeping it clean. Only one open so far left, and that was by the anchor of the Takeover. Let's see if he can make up for that. And let's see if his team can hold him up a little bit after that. No one really throwing any bad shots. Couple of hard breaks here and there, but for the most part, everybody is understanding the assignment. And let's see if Robert Bowen can stay on the assignment and dropping that 10-pin out. 5 frames, 5 strikes for Robert Bowen. And Mike Potulski III. And, that might cross. And, no, it doesn't cross, but it goes right through the face. And I'm not going to consider this an open, but it's definitely going to be really, really tough to make that. We got the 6-7-10 left from Mike Potulski. And Nick looking to jump all over it, and he definitely does. Mixes it up himself. So strike, spare, strike, spare, strike. So right there, he's playing a little Dutch, going and potentially going Dutch. Mike not going to play hero ball. He is just going to focus on the 2 pins. Every single pin matters. It matters because in a 40-point system, especially when total wood is 10 points, you want to make sure you grab everything you can. You do not want to leave too many pins on the deck. The more pins you collect each shot, numerically you going to win. Paul up. And Paul on the road to maybe putting a little white out on that last frame where he had his first, and hopefully for him and his team, his only open. You know, over here with former tag team champion Nick Gavron. What's going on, Nick?
What up?
Not much. Just out here chilling in Montvale Lanes and watching Brian Koch leave another 4-pin. So for those who never come to Montvale Lanes, give us a little insight on what you're experiencing and what most people might experience when they come to Montvale.
I've only bowled here a few times, but Jeff's bowled here a lot. Bob's bowled here a lot in the senior tournaments. 15 and 16 is the worst pair in the house by far. So we're all in for some fun on this one. The left lane hook's a good 4 or 5 boards more. So hence me throwing 2 different balls.
So shout out to the corner pairs.
Yeah, and last time we were here it was on 37 and 8. So.
Oh, yeah, very good.
Not as bad as this one.
They keep putting babies in the corner, man. Don't do that, man.
But we have some people that know what they're doing. He's a PBA titleist. He knows what he's doing. Bob's bowled here and won the senior tournaments here. Like, whatever. Figure it out.
All right.
I'll ride the coattails for now while I do nothing.
And y'all looking to ride that momentum of you guys starting off first in the team ranking qualifier. So are you trying to mimic that? And do you look forward to potentially mimicking that as we watch Robert Bohm potentially mimic his last 5 shots?
Yep. I enjoy rankings. Rankings is a lot of fun. So starting off in first is nice. Haven't started off in first before. We got to first and was there for a while last year. We ended up losing in the finals, but hey, new year.
Yeah, and starting off with 6 in a row is great too. All right. Shout out to you, Nick. Appreciate you. And Mike kind of putting a little more mustard on that one. It's very easy to start throwing it harder when you throw it too soft and you leave a split. So some of those frustration strikes are usually some of the best strikes you throw all night. 2 open frames for the Takeover. 0 opens so far for the Arsenal on scratch. And Nick with his first double of the game. So no more Dutch, huh? I guess no more Dutch, huh, Nick?
No.
Very good. And that's a double right there for Paul Adams. And right now you see a little stretch break. Nothing wrong with staying loose right before you throw. Let's see if Brian Koch can stay loose and maybe start stringing 6 strikes in a row starting with this. And that is definitely not a way to start if you want to try to go sheet for the remainder of your game. 7-10 leave, and only thing taking over right now is bad breaks for the takeover. And Morin, well, does not strike as well, but only difference is he got the 7 to fall. He might have piped that a little too far down the lanes, but mercifully for him, he was able to take out the 7. And going for it all. Oh, the 10 pin kind of pokes his head out to say hi, but it doesn't make contact with the 7. And Jeff all over the 10 pin and all over the opportunities that's being presented to them by the missteps of the takeover. Robert Boehm so far with 6 strikes in a row. 6 frames, 6 strikes. Let's see if this will be lucky number 7 right here. Boehm up. 10 back. Nothing but copy and paste action over there. I may have said it before. I said it again, and he keeps doing it over and over and over. So if he says it with the ball, I'm going to say it with my words. And Mike put a little more speed on that one, and that's all he needed. All he needed was a little more speed, get it down the lane. He's the one person that keeps the ball remaining in the oil, and he has the revs to fight through the oil. Speaking of revs, here comes Nick Gavron. Oh, and yeah, he's waving a big goodbye to that Dutch situation that he was in. He's not creating patterns anymore. Only patterns that he's doing is all X's. And cannot get the 10 out. It's almost like the corner pins have on Arsenal jerseys, the way they're standing up and fighting for the Arsenal and creating opportunities for them to run away on the scratch pair. Paul up, and Adams all over his 10 pin, taking it out no problem. So 3 opens have been left on the side for the takeover. No opens at all, as well as your middle bowler on front 7. Jeff Morin up. Jeff Morin trying a little surface change, try a little ball change, and I think he likes the way that looks. And all right, deeper angle right there, and Koch on 10 back. Right now they are fighting from the bottom right now in terms of score, trying to cut the lead down and hanging around just in case anything interesting may happen. The pace that the Arsenal is on right now, the Arsenal, I don't think they really feel like leaving any extra food on the plate. And Boehm up and make that 8 times, 8 frames, 8 strikes. A lot of skilled bowlers in this team's arsenal. And Mike Potts, getting a little, dare I say, a Kobo carry, a little bit of BS carry there. And 3 in a row for Mike. And let's see if Nick can go further and further away from the Dutch. And, well, he's not going to go Dutch anymore, but that's the first leave. That's less than 9 for Nick right there. But more than enough room this game has had for the Arsenal. 2-8 leave, double wood. Let's see what Paul Adams can do. Paul Adams up. That ball looks good. And got the 10 to fall late. First time they've really been able to negotiate the corner pins to fall late for them. Nick all over his double wood conversion. Over 100 pins difference on the scratch pair alone. Jeff Moran up. Moran gets that ball out a little far, but it definitely snaps back. He talked a couple of frames about wanting to switch surfaces, and now that he has a little room, thanks to the real estate created by Robert Boehm, he definitely had an opportunity to see what other look he had. Unfortunately, the look that's there for Brian Koch, he may want to switch to something a little stronger. He definitely has been able to maintain pocket, but has not gotten the hits that he would like to get. And Koch taking out the 7-pin with no problem. The story is right now, Robert Boehm, second bowler, being the glue to hold up the leadoff and the anchor, is potentially on front 9. Boehm going up. Have not seen any mistakes on any shots that Robert Boehm has thrown. It hasn't been just luck or carry. It was just been precision and rinse and repeat. No problem for Robert Boehm. And Mike Patowski, the third up. And there goes that 10 again. And with every corner pin that they leave and do not carry, further and further away and further apart they are on the bottom end. They are away from the arsenal. Right. And Batowski all over his 10-pin.
I'll give back 2 minutes.
And we are going to take a look over here at Nick Gavron. And Nick Gavron definitely taking out all 10 pins on that shot. Great shot by Nick Gavron. And Paul Adams up. Gets that ball out a little bit. And I'm watching the ball finishing late. And maybe that may be the issue, but especially on the corner pairs. Anybody who bowls knows that the corner pairs always have a lot of different dynamics when you're up there. And Paul going up for his 10-pin, and the spares have not really been an issue. But the issue for the takeover is Arsenal striking a lot. One in particular, Robert Boehm. They're striking more than them, and they have closed more frames. More closed frames equal more victory. And Koch, like that, he may have squared up and straightened up his angle a little bit. Maybe a little more down and in action. We'll see what happens later on for him. Jeff Moran, ever since making that surface change, he definitely likes his results. Let's see if the results continue the same way. And he kind of ventured out yonder with that one. Leaving an 8-pin is Jeff Moran. Let's see, Koch. All right, Koch buries the second one. You know, maybe having a little foresight and knowing what he needs to do for the second and third game, especially if they're going to try to mount some kind of comeback against the Arsenal. Morin has remained clean for all 10 frames. Koch, yep, coming with a different attack in the 10th frame. Trying to see what kind of look he has for both his second and third as the game goes by. And Morin with a potential 2-17 finish. And that should be no problem. Buries that one, but the 10-pin says, nah, let me wave goodbye to everybody before I leave for this first game. All right, 2-16 finish for Jeff Morin. Brian Koch with a 196 finish. And Mike Patowski, all right, he likes that. Shout out to him. Potential 2-16 finish for him, provided that he throws all 3 strikes. But speaking of 3 strikes, we have front 9 in a row for Robert Boehm of the Arsenal. Let's see what he does right here. Boehm gets that ball up and make that front 10. 10 frames, 10 back on each frame. Mike getting that ball out. Little area check for Mike Patowski III. 2 shots in the 10th. He liked it. He's going to sit back, and out of respect to Robert Boehm, he's going to give the lanes to Rob. And Rob gets that one aside a little bit, but no problem. That is front 11 for Rob Boehm. All right, we got 11 in a row for Robert Boehm of the Arsenal. Let's see if right here in Montvale Lanes, New Jersey Northeast Tour Stop, Robert Boehm. One more shot to throw that thing. Rob gets the ball out and, oh man. Well, 299 for Robert Boehm. Game 1, scratch pair, New Jersey Northeast Tour Stop, representing the Arsenal. All right. Great shooting, Rob. All right. Amazing shooting. Unfortunately, that 10-pin just came in to ruin his dreams right there. But I have a feeling he's going to be throwing the ball well all day. And speaking of throwing the ball well, Nick also threw the ball well, and 10-pin showed up again. We're going to call that the narcissistic 10-pin. Let's see if Mike can throw his final shot in the 10th. And the 7 says, I don't want to be outdone. I like being on camera too. Nick all over his 10-pin. potential 218 finish. All right, so the Arsenal with a more than 100 pin advantage over the Takeover on the scratch pair. And 218 for Nick Gavron. So 216, 299, and 218. Very good. And 10 pin for Paul Adams. Potential 213 finish for Paul Adams. And well, no 10 pin make there, and that's going to only be a 202 finish. All right. And that has been the scratch pair. And now we are going to check out handicap number 2. Right. So far on the scratch pair alone, 120 pin difference for the Arsenal. And the overall handicap pair number 2. We're going to check out the action over there. Representing the Arsenal, we got Matt Russell, we got Michael Pash, and we got Doug McFarland Jr. And representing the Takeover, we got Dion Jennings, Peter Laverde, and Daniel Ziki. And so far, it looks like the Takeover. Sorry about that. Oh, the Takeover losing on this pair, but only by 33 pins. So 33. A 33 pin deficit here and a 120 pin deficit on scratch pair. So far, the Arsenal coming with a big firing power so far against the Takeover. They have shown up, and they are planning to show out. All right, so far we got a 10-pin lead right now. Let's see if Rack Ball is on the back of his jersey. Let's see if he can rack back the 10-pin and holds on, and by the skin of his teeth takes it out no problem. Pash did not go past the 10-pin there. And we got Doug McFarland Jr., or Dougie Fresh as it says on the back of his jersey. And dug up, tickles the pocket, tries to make all the pins laugh at the same time, but I don't think the 8-pin felt like laughing on that one. And representing the Takeover right now, we got the mixologist. It says mixologist on the back of his jersey. Let's see if he's going to get mixy with the pins here. All right, Daniel Ziki up on lane 19. Doug, no problem on his spare. And Zeke up. And mixologist does what it says on the back of his jersey, and he mixes it up. All 10 back right there. And a little shimmy, a little shake, a little curry shake by the mixologist. Yo, Zeke. What's going on? So, and I'm feeling good talking to Daniel Zeke right now of the Takeover, and it says mixologist on there. So is that how you do it? Shaking, not stirred?
Hey man, I'm just mixing the pocket up right now. I don't know. That's why they named me mixologist. You know, sometimes it hits the pocket hard, and most of the time it just mixes everything up.
Yeah, I saw a little shimmy at the end of the strike too.
First you got to shake, then you got to bake. You know what I mean, baby?
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake, baby, all day, all day.
Be first or last.
Hey, that's right.
Very good. And a beautiful shot right there. Oh, man. Dion Jennings. All right, Miss Jennings. I see you out here. Can I get one, too? Why not? Very good. All right. Hey, you always get one, Matt. All right, so we got a mixologist and we have a DJ, and DJ as in Dion Jennings. And you know, if your first name is Dion, most of the times Dion's know how to sing a nice tune. And she's singing a song to the pocket, and they like it. Very good. And Peter Laverty over there with a very good shot. That's right. I'm gonna say your name right. I'm gonna say your name right. All right. And let's see what Michael Pash has. Oh, right there. Pass blasting the pins back right there. Great shot by Michael. And we got Doug McFarlane up on lane 19. And on lane 20, we have the mixologist himself, Daniel Zeke. All right, Zeke getting the ball up. And Zeke leaving a 10-pin. So before he was shimmying and shaking, that time the 10-pin gives a little shimmy and a shake. Let's see if Doug McFarlane can jump on that here on handicap pair number 2. Very good. And blasting all 10 pins back right there was Doug McFarlane. Right. And unfortunately does not pick up the 10 pin, does Zeke. All right. So Daniel, how'd you guys fare in game 1 against the Arsenal's handicap 2 pair?
Oh man, that was a tough one. We came out struggling, but you know, just got to strive and just got to fight back. Got to come all the way back. We're off to a little good start. I flagged the 10 pin there. I don't know what the hell is going on with my spare shooting, but we got to figure that out and make it happen.
Is it a big deficit right now for you guys right now?
No, we're down 60 after game 1. So I mean, yeah, I mean that's doable. We can do this.
All right, so 60 after game 1. So far 120 over there on scratch. And how are you guys looking on handicap pair number 1?
Handicap pair number 1, we won the game. We won the game, so it'll be all right.
How much, maybe?
I don't even know.
Okay.
Honestly, had to be only a couple, but see what happens.
But a win is a win.
It's a win. Win's a win. We need Tyler Chubbs over here to pick up his game. He's been on fire, and that game 1 that wasn't him. He made a ball change. He's going to do something special here. I can feel it.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about trust. Very good. And it's all about having good breaks. And Dion Jennings definitely showing that she knows how to stop when needed.
Tiger Woods ass over there.
There you go. And Matt Russell up. And blasting 10 back. And firing off right there was Matt Russell, picking his energy up, trying to keep his foot on the gas and try to keep his foot on their necks. And Dion took a little stop before, didn't like the way her feet felt. And great patience by Dion, taking her time and resetting and taking out the 7 pin. All right. Sorry, brothers. My fault, we just got. And we got Michael Pash up. And Pash, very good. Nice high flush right there, tearing the pocket up. And we got Laverty. And Laverty up. And that ball coming in late into the pocket, not getting enough angle to take the 10-pin out. I see we've seen a lot of corner pins, and the corner pins have been fighting back here. And, ooh, very, very close, but you don't have to hurt the 10-pin to knock it down. You just need enough, just enough to push it off the edge. And we got the man with Dougie Fresh on the back of his jersey. Let's see if he can make the pins dance as well. And now Doug McFarland right through the pocket. Something about guys wearing hats throwing good shots today on the Arsenal. And Zeke, the mixologist, still can't get the right mix to get the 10 out. But thankfully for him, the 7 did fall. So far, the only pair to win a game for the Takeover has been handicap pair number 1. 120 pin advantage on the scratch pair for the Arsenal, as well as I believe, 60-point victory for game 1 for the Arsenal on handicap 2. 54 to be exact. And Zeke all over that 10 pin. He did miss the last one. He missed his target slightly inside on this one, but the ball definitely got down the lane faster. Identical start for all 3 members of the Arsenal here on handicap pair number 2. Matt Russell. Matt with strike, spare, spare. Pash, strike, spare, spare. Doug McFarland, strike, spare, spare. Oh, man. And that is an unfortunate leave right there for Miss Jennings. And then Matt not showing any mercy, throwing 10 pins back off the rack right there. So potential 290 finish for Matt. And all over that, man. Hey! She says that is nothing but a spare. That was no problem.
Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go. Here. Great pickup. That was the 5-7 split, and she was all over that. She said no problem on that. And, Pash going fast past the 10 pin right there. Pash went past it. And that was a morale booster for the Takeover in both ways. A major pickup. A major pickup by Deion Jennings, as well as a big blink by Pash. And you can see the difference right there in Laverty's shot. Him seeing that 10-pin miss as well as that 5-7 pickup definitely helped him put a little more sauce on that last shot. Let's see if Dougie can pick up the pieces. Let's see if Doug McFarland right now, he needs to pick up whatever just happened with Michael Pash last shot. And he mixes it up at the 7-pin, now fights back. So now it seems that the Takeover has the opportunity to take over the lead, provided that they keep their foot on the gas. And no mix there. That was all straight shot by Daniel Zeke. So not only do you mix your drinks, you also like to give straight shots. I see that.
You gotta know what it takes.
You gotta know when to switch it up. No ice in that one. And all over the 7-pin was Doug McFarland Jr. One great thing about a good leadoff bowler is one that does not get discouraged. She left the 5-7, and that was an unfortunate leave. She squared up, she looked, she stared it down, and she took it down. And let's see if DJ, Miss Jennings right now, gives a little shimmy and a little shake. Smooth release, gets the ball down lane, and all right, comes a little high, leaves the 6-10 in the right corner. Pash looking to make up for the last shot, but, well, took a little trip. I'll say it again, it hurts me to say it, but a Brooklyn strike, a Brooklyn strike. But when I get back over the bridge, it's Jersey for sure. And Miss Jennings up, and the ball travels out, and it takes a nice, lovely, and elegant walk to the 6-10. All right, Doug McFarland is the anchor for handicap pair number 2. But for those who are familiar with Doug McFarland, knows that he is one of those tools can be used on any pair. This is why they are called the Arsenal. They have interchangeable pieces that can go on any pair. And tripping out the 5-7 was Doug McFarland. Let's see what Mr. Laverty could do right here. Laverty up. And Laverty pushing it back. And Deion Jennings, such a lady, but you know what? Boisterous as well. But you know what? When your name is Deion, like I said before, you have no problem singing if you need to. And she is singing a sweet song and leading the way. Not with her strikes, but with her energy and her heart on each shot. She knows that every shot means something, and she comes with that we need everything energy. All right, the mixologist back up. Zeke up. Zeke rolls that ball out, and Zeke leaving the 9-pin. That ball came in a little high. The 7 almost stood up with it. So far, no open frames. No open frames for handicap pair number 2 in the takeover. And that ball's not moving. Plastic does not move. Zeke going straight because he knows straighter is greater when it comes to making your spares. Shout out to everybody checking us out here in Montvale Lanes. Voice of choice, Sean Dyke facing New Jersey Northeast Tour Stop. The takeover versus the Arsenal. And we have Miss DJ herself, Deion Jennings, up on lane 20. Right now we got Matt Russell working on potential 290. Frame number 6 and gets the mix. So that's 6 frames, 5 strikes in a row. Matt definitely likes his look. Down and in. Looks like he has a very calm surface, not trying to hurt the pocket, but merely negotiate the pocket. And so far, all negotiations are going positively, to say the least. Deion Jennings. That ball came in a little sharp. Speed was a little slow. But whether it's slow or not, we've seen that Miss Jennings definitely knows how to keep it steady. And we had Pash taking out the 5 and the 7. Based on his body language, he doesn't necessarily like his ball reaction, but he has to like the result. Only one open for Pash, and that was in frame number 4. And shout out to the breaks and the stopping ability of Deion Jennings. That is the second time we've seen her be able to do that. But you cannot argue with anything that is a winning strategy. If you know when to stop and you're good at stopping and you fill all your boxes, that is okay. Doug McFarland up. That ball comes in very high, but carries out all 10 pins. Jennings up and no problem on her spare. So when I think of a great bowler to have on any handicap pair, from what I can see, I think of a Deion Jennings. From what she is showing you right now, even if she is not stringing a bunch of strikes together, she has great energy. She contributes to the pair's dynamic, and she can make her spares. Miss DJ, if we could just talk to you. This is my first time getting a chance to see you, and I was just saying you seem to be exactly what I think of when I think of the perfect additive to any handicap pair and potentially a scratch pair. But you know what? Your energy is great on the lanes. You're contributing to whatever's happening. You're not letting anything getting you down. And from what I can see, you're not scared of any spare.
I'm not. The first game I was nervous. I did allow the first game to get my nerves because this is my first UBA tournament.
Oh, well, welcome.
Thank you. So once I shook it off, I'm going back to what I know, and my spare game is my best game.
And you know what? Strikes may have a nice house, but the hammers and nails used to build it are spares.
That's correct. And I'm glad that I'm able to at least contribute that and some energy for the team.
Well, your first name Deion, so we already know you singing well on the lanes.
Thank you. Actually, I could, yes. I appreciate that.
Very good. Well, keep being a cleanup woman.
I like that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. And mixologist right there, leaving up the 10-pin. And the Arsenal is definitely keeping forward motion in terms of maintaining their lead. The Arsenal right now being very advantageous. All right, they are staying and moving forward, and they're marching on with their lead. They know they have a lead. They know right now, as of now, they are looking stronger than the takeover. And the one thing that they always say, a lot of old school bowlers say, you never want to crack the window. You never know what smell or what can come in. You keep your window open at night, someone might sneak in and take something that you want. But right now they're trying to keep the windows and the doors and all doors and all ways to get back in locked. And they are trying not to let, and doing a good job, I might add, of letting the takeover come in and try to take over any idea. But then again, there's always that one person that might leave the door open. Unfortunately, 6 count is going to hurt not only what he was going to potentially shoot, and we have to get the ruling. I believe that, yes. Deion Jennings' ball, I do believe, made contact with the pin on the lanes before it touched the pin in the back. So from what I understand, that should be spare made. We're gonna get confirmation on that.
I thought it was the same time, was it not? I can't tell. You were closer.
Well, either way, that's just how bowling goes. You hit a pin in the gutter, it's dead.
It looked like it hit at the same time. Okay. All right. I didn't know. All right. Thank you for saving me.
Very close.
I'm just saying,
Well, all right. And we have a seven count left right there for Laverty. And pass up. Pass going high and taking out all 10 pins. And Laverty up. And even though there was a misstep on Matt Russell's last shot, he did convert his spare.
They said that there was dead wood in the gutter, and it hit dead wood. And I didn't see it, so.
Yeah. And Zeke up, and Zeke looking to jump on the ball. Now, even though they are down, necessarily no, they're not down. So the takeover still ahead. And about even, yes. In terms of handicap, we know the takeover does get more pins. And this is why the Arsenal is definitely trying to work hard. They need to work hard to make up for that deficit. And as we had that discussion yesterday with the audience as well as Gabe Christoko of Area 518, the key to a strong handicap pair is having that proper blend of strikers and sparers, people that can put things together, close frames, as well as receive some handicap. The Arsenal, they do have an arsenal of shooters, but I don't know if necessarily they're handicap heavy. Usually their skill can overcome handicap. But the takeover is a team with a great, dare I say, mix of talent of different proportions. And we're seeing a display of that right now. And oh no, unfortunately, leaving the 4-9 was Deion Jennings. This is a very missable yet at the same time makeable split. And Matt tripping out the 5 and the 7. And we're getting a ruling, yes, due to the fact that there was contact made by that dead wood. And it was extremely close, but unfortunately, that is a miss. That was a miss for Miss Jennings. But based on her spirit energy, I know it's not going to get her down. Deion shooting, and that's all right. Oh, almost bounces out the back. Mike Pash up, and Pash throwing 10 back right there. Unfortunate 2 opens for Deion Jennings, but Deion Jennings is definitely doing her job and keeping her team in it at this point. So now it's their turn to take over and finish the work that Deion Jennings has been laying down. That ball's a little tight. And trips out the same thing that Deion Jennings left. Tripping out the 4-9 was Laverty. Doug McFarland going up. That ball travels out. Comes in very sharp, almost leaving a 4-7-10. But the 7 and the 10 fall late. Zeke up, little footing issues there, and takes a trip onto the other side. And how apropos, because now the doors are open. Very good shot. Little hop, skip, and a jump. And Doug McFarland up, and no problem on that 4 pin. So now we have the foundation frame coming up. Frame number 9. The takeover in a very, very tight battle here on handicap pair number 2. The takeover getting 68 pins a game. Handicap here for the Arsenal only receiving 10 pins a game. So they are definitely in a they need everything situation. They need every opportunity. They need open frames from the takeover. But the takeover, they are minimizing those mistakes. Deion Jennings getting up, and leaving the 310, leaving the baby split in frame number 9. And Matt Russell up. Matt Russell pushing all 10 pins back. And, oh baby, she made the baby no problem. Miss Jennings, boy or girl? Was that a boy or a girl? I know, that was twins? And she made, and, you know, made the baby. Yeah, I got twins. And you know what? Not for nothing, Deion Jennings making that baby and giving birth to an opportunity for them to win game number 2. Let's see what Laverde can do. First 4 letters of his last name, R-L-O-V-E. Let's see if this next shot and the pins show Peter a little love here. Laverde up. Oh, and Laverde, he gets a lot of love on that shot. And, oh, Pash just passed the 10 pin again. And walking with his head down, and you have to wonder if that puts a little more pressure on Douglas McFarland going into his 9th and 10th frame. Daniel Zeke up. Zeke already on 2 in a row. Gets that ball way out. Comes on back. And 10 pin left. 7 pin falls late. Let's see what Douglas McFarland can do right here. Doug McFarland up. Always poised. Never see anything, never see any emotion on his face. And taking out the 4-10. Before he almost left the 4-7-10, the 7 and 10 fell late. This time he was able to trip everything out. And he made the pins dance on that one. Zeke right there taking out his 10 pin, no problem. All right, good shot. So now going into the 10th frame, we have Deion Jennings on a spare. We have Pete Love, Peter Laverde on a double going into the 10th, and we have Daniel Zeke on a spare going into his 10th frame. Matt Russell, Matthew, he's on a double, working on potential 260 finish, and it was a potential 266 finish. All right, going a little high, leaving the 4 pin was Matthew Russell. Would have loved to add a strike to that going into the 10th frame. Let's see what Miss Jennings can do. Jennings gets that ball a little inside, and big shot at the right time. Hey, there you go. The battle cry is on the back of her jersey. Matt all over his spare. And Arsenal put together a great team on this pair, but I'm not sure, like I said, how many handicap bowlers they have. And I'm pretty sure that they deal with this often. Handicap pairs that get 60 pins or better. And they are only receiving, in total, 10 pins a game. Deion Jennings up. Big double. That was a clutch shot from Deion Jennings. One thing about the Arsenal, they're not scared of moments to show how great they are. And this is the time to show it. And Matt throwing a much better shot his last shot of the 10th frame of game number 2. 245. Great game by Matt. Deion Jennings. Potential 190 finish, provided that she pushes all 10s back, all 10 pins back right now. Deion gets the ball up, and that's all right. 188 finish. Definitely putting in some great groundwork for what the Takeover could potentially do in game number 2. All right, first shot, strike for Pash. Michael Pash was getting a little down on himself for those 2 10-pin misses that he had. Still working on a 224 game. Peter Laverde. And likes that off the hand, starts to walk away from it early. Potential 256 finish for Peter Laverde. Michael Pash up. All right, 10 back. All right, big time strikes. Already has 214. One more strike will give him 224. What's going on, man?
Oh, man. Big fight, man.
Oh, man. So, hey, you fighting out there, too?
Man, we are the underdogs, but we are here to fight. This is only the first match. Win or lose, it's a long season. We got some new members that are getting their feet wet.
Yes, they are.
And you know what? They're getting their feet wet with a good-ass team.
Not for nothing, they're getting their feet wet, but it looks like they're standing in the sun because right now, all that wetness on the feet is drying off real quick. Yes. They're looking kind of comfortable out here.
Yes, they're looking real comfortable. Right now, I think we got swept the first game, but it looks like last 2 pairs got a good little match going on. So we're looking to see if we can hold on and take as many points as we can.
Y'all won the first game over here, right?
We lost by like 4 pins. It was
4.
close.
Okay.
But it looks like we'll win this one, and then hopefully this is a fight to the end right here, as you can see.
Yeah, definitely.
So even this counts. Even that counts. That's a big, that was huge. So this is going to be a fight to the end.
And for those who don't know, let them know who it is.
Yeah, this is Papi Chulu, owner of DTO, 13 seasons strong. Scared of nobody. We're here to have fun, regardless who it is. We'll put the ball out there, and we'll put our ball to the test. Let our ball do the talk, and that's it.
Yeah, I feel that. And and we talked about a good blend of handicap, especially when you're making a good handicap pair. I don't know if
40-something
yes,
a game.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
And I was talking with Gabe Christoco over there, Area 518, and that's the key to a great complete team, a balanced team, an arsenal, if you will.
Yes, actually more. She has 188 equals to 231, so that's like almost 50-something pins. Yeah. So it's a blend, bro. The UBA is for everybody, all colors, shapes, skills, and sizes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's all about trust. If you don't trust, if you're not going to trust who you put in there, then what's the point?
What's the point? Don't do it then. You know what I'm saying?
And speaking of don't do it, I know that's exactly what Doug McFarland was thinking on that shot, and he definitely did it.
Yeah,
and he did it. And
like we need a dentist on lane 19.
Yeah. And you know what? Deion Jennings right now dancing like she has the best DJ in her ear.
And it's our first match of UBA
she
ever.
mentioned it.
Yeah, she's having fun.
You know what?
We trust her. She shot bad the first game. We didn't take her out. She showed up second game. So guess what? She'll play the third game.
And you know what? And the bar is open, and the mixologist keeps serving them drinks. And jumping on that opportunity was Mr. Daniel Zeke right there. And Doug McFarland, not to be outdone, almost picking up his 6-7-10. Definitely did. He was flirting with a split for the past 2 frames prior to that. And that time it came back to bite him. And in the end, it looks like the Takeover is going to take game number 2. And you can see the elation all over Deion Jennings' face in her very first ever UBA tour stop. 206 finish right there. The Takeover taking over a victory in game number 2. And they came back and took this by 21 pins. They won this by 21 pins. So they definitely cut the deficit down here. And
Let's review scratch. Until this is done. Review scratch until their game.
speaking of which, thank you for everyone on this beautiful fall day in autumn. You know, it is the season, UBA season, and we are here at the season tour stop here in the New Jersey Northeast, here in Montvale Lanes, Montvale, New Jersey. Arsenal, the Arsenal that is, versus Takeover, the Takeover that is. And we got a chance to look at scratch before. We're taking another little peek at scratch to see if there's any improvement on there as we see Paul Adams leaving a leaving a 2-pin and showing he's okay. Nick Gavron, no problem knocking down his 10-pin. We were just finished covering handicap pair number 2 and a knockdown drag out affair there. The Takeover came back and they took game 2 by about 21 pins. They lost the first game by 54. So definitely chopping down the deficit in terms of total wood on that pair alone. In terms of total wood, right over here on scratch, there is still there is about a close to 200 pin deficit over here on scratch. So right now, scratch is the determining factor in terms of what is going to happen. The closest in terms of total wood right now is the difference in comparison to handicap pair 1, where it's honestly maybe about 20 pin difference over here. Hey, you know, hey, this is the season for that. Yeah, that's true. That takes talent. And speaking of talent, that's a talented 10-pin that keeps showing up on time. On time for one team, and another team probably wish it wouldn't show up anytime. So, again, extremely tight match in terms of handicap pairs 1 and 2. So, right now, the catalyst for a 10-point acquisition is the scratch pair. Scratch pair, the Takeover is down by about almost 200 pins. Robert Boehm earlier in game number 1 shot 299. We're going to look to see how his line is shaping up right now for this game. Has not missed the pocket apparently all day. Got Paul Adams up on lane number 15, frame number 2, and gets a little mixy, kind of like his teammate, the mixologist Daniel Ziki, that was on handicap pair number 2, and mixes all pins up. Let's see what Robert Boehm is going to do. Is setting up for his 10-pin, squaring up. One thing about the seasoned bowlers that have been around in this game for a while, they know the importance of every shot. No shot is to be taken for granted. Doesn't matter if you leave a spare. There's no such thing as frustration because it is a team game. Every single pin matters. Every single frame matters. Nick Gavron coming up on frame number 2, game number 3, lane 16. Starting out with 9 spare to start. And, whoa, message delivered. And that messenger fired like it was shot out of that cannon. That's a cannon messenger, right?
Very flat.
Very flat cannon. And Jeff Morin. Ooh, that ball bit a little early and took a sharp turn. And we see the 3-10 baby split. And Koch matches his 8 count with an 8 count of his own. Let's see if Morin is going to make a baby right here, and all over the baby split, all over the 310 is Jeff Morin. And Ryan Koch up, and no problem on his lead, picking up the 2-4. Shout out to both teams, definitely putting on a show for everybody. And ball coming up high for Robert Boehm, and Robert Boehm right there leaving the 6-10. All right. Later on, we'll check out to see what's going on here. But right now, we are going to check out handicap pair number 1. And they are in their 3rd game. And the story is the Takeover winning game number 2 on both handicap pairs number 1 and handicap pairs number 2. So they're definitely going to leave here with something. We're going to see what that result is a little later on. We got Audrey Snell up for the Arsenal. And Matthew Rodriguez, as well as Kevin Harity. And for the Takeover, we spoke to him earlier. Papi Chulo himself, James Ocasio, the owner of the Takeover of DTO. And we got Robert Lipinski as their second bowler, and Tyler Polachek. Papi Chulo up and leaving that bucket. Excuse me, sir. Matt Rodriguez up. Matt Rodriguez out, and that ball comes in and mixes it up and takes all 10 pins out. Ocasio up, and no problem on that pickup for the 2-4-8-5. And Papi Chulo definitely not happy with that first shot that he threw, but the only solace is that it was only frame number 1, and you can still build off of it. And the anchor up, and Kevin Harity. Kevin Harity muscles that ball down the lanes, pushes all 10 pins back. So 3 shots. Each player in frame number 1 for the Arsenal, starting off with a strike. Ocasio starting off with 6 spare, so potential for a 290 finish, provided that he throws the back 11 in a row. We got Lipinski up. Rob Lip up. Yep. And that shot was not all lip. That was all teeth. That ball, it bit, and it bit hard, and it took all 10 pins off of the rack. All right, Lipinski pushing the whole rack back on that shot. We got Tyler Polachek. Polachek gets that ball out, and there you go. TP driving that. TP standing for total power right there. Powerful, powerful shot there for Polachek. Talking to Papi Chulo, he said that they went out, they picked up some new acquisitions, and they're looking to make a run, a playoff run this season. He pulls that ball inside and mercifully does not leave a split. That shot right there was definitely a reach. He was reaching for a strike and almost got a split and leaves the 4-7. Does Ocasio, James Ocasio. Oh, and wow, surprising miss right there by Papi Chulo. And one thing about being a leadoff, well, it doesn't matter what spot you are in terms of a team, whether you're starting on the top, in the middle, or on the bottom, because you always serve a purpose. Yes, you want your anchor bowler to close things out, but your leadoff bowler sets the right pace, sets the right precedent. And speaking of set, that right there, that 10-pin stayed set and did not drop for Lipinski. Up on lane 18, we have Audrey Snell, one half of the former Northeast Tag Team Champions. No stranger to tour stops, no stranger to being on camera, no stranger to the game. Audrey pulling the ball slightly inside, but still a good shot. 10-pin does not fall. Lipinski gets the ball up, gets it out, and takes out the 10-pin. Now, this is one of the more evenly matched handicap pairs. The Takeover has been getting 44 pins a game, and the Arsenal's handicap pair has been getting 45 pins a game. So there's only a 1-point difference in terms of handicap. So essentially, this handicap pair, being handicap pair number 1, is competing, dare I say, scratch. And Audrey taking out the 10-pin. Ball held on just a half a second longer. Anything less than that, it would have went right in the channel last second. We have TP, Tyler Polachek, anchoring handicap pair number 1, and 2 frames, 2 strikes. And he's trying to help his team take over. We got Matthew Rodriguez, still keeping the mixed drinks coming. 2 frames, 2 strikes right there from Matt Rodriguez. And we got Kevin Harity anchoring right here for the Arsenal's handicap pair number 1. Let's see what the team player is going to give to the team. Well, he gave them a pocket shot, but the lanes gave him a 10-pin. Both handicap pairs are trying to make up any losses that are happening on the scratch pair. And even if they don't get total wood, at least they want to take these 2 games, so at least they can leave here with a nice little chunk of something, even if it's not the bigger piece. All over the 10-pin was Kevin Harity. Papi Chulo with the first open of this game. He's going to need to fill a lot of boxes and throw a lot of strikes to try to maybe cut into this deficit. Audrey didn't like that off the hand. It hung on her thumb a little bit, and that ball finished a little weak in the pocket. Mercifully, the 8-pin did not stand up. One thing about Audrey, she's extremely accurate, and she can hit anything she looks at. Let's see if Papi Chulo can match up with that accuracy that's possessed by Audrey Snell. Papi with a much better shot off the hand. And he liked it off the hand, and I think he liked the results as well. 1 shot, 10 pins back. Audrey displaying that accuracy. She is definitely a major part of this arsenal. And she takes out the 10 pin, no problem. All right, we got Matthew Rodriguez up on lane number 17. We have Mr. Lipinski up on lane 18. And Robbie lip up. And Lipinski with a great shot, unfortunately, does not take out the 10-pin. Let's see if Matt Rodriguez can jump all over that. And let's see if he can get his third strike in his third frame. He did not like that off the hand. He popped up, and usually when you pop up like that, it means it's something you don't like. And 7 count on that one. And Lipinski, he missed inside, and it held. Spare ball went a little long. And they said, shout out to the spare ball, never clean it off. And a great spare by both Matt Rodriguez as well as Rob Lipinski. All right, we got TP, Tyler Polachek. Starting off with 2 in a row. Gets that ball up the lanes. He likes it. And that ball, he missed inside. He missed in the oil. That ball rolled out. But mercifully, it was a 9 count, nothing less than 9. He would have loved for it to be a strike. Kevin Harity sends a message right there saying, throw it better. Especially if you matched up against me. Kevin Harity pushing 10 pins back right there on that one. As we said before, there is only a 1-pin advantage in terms of handicap, and that actually goes to the Arsenal. 45 pins per game for the Arsenal on this handicap pair, and 44 pins per game for the Takeover. All right, James Ocasio up. Gets a good shot up the lanes. And he really, really liked that one out the hand. Let's see what Audrey says to that. Audrey pushes all 10 pins back, blows them away, blew out all the candles. Only thing Papi Chulo was waving at right there was a 10 pin. Let's see if he waves hello to it or waves goodbye. And I think he's going to wave hello. All right, all over his 10 pin was James Ocasio. Audrey with a great shot, getting the result that she's been desiring for the past couple frames. Matt Rodriguez gets that ball up the lanes, and he definitely liked that shot out the hand as well, but a 10 pin right there standing its ground. 10 pin, 10 toes down. Robert Lipinski. Let's see what the Lipper has to say about this. And getting that 10 to fall late. Matthew backing the ball up, and no problem getting to the 10 pin for Matt Rodriguez. And we got Chubbs up. Tyler Polachek. TP Chubbs. Strike, 9 spare. Looking to see what he can do right here as you hear James Ocasio saying to take your time. And he indeed does that. And the ball takes a little walk outside, but comes right back. Looked a lot more smooth out the hand. Definitely a lot more calmer on that shot was Polachek. Let's see if there's a rebuttal from Kevin Harity on this next shot. All right, right now it looks like the Takeover is trying to do their best to get at least some victories, 2 more game victories to make up. And right there, that was not the response that Kevin Harity was looking for in response to Polachek's strike. The Takeover fighting to get some game victories to make up for the near, dare I say, 300, almost 400 pin difference. I'm sorry, almost 300 pin difference in terms of total wood on the scratch pair that the Takeover is down by. Harity all over his spare. Let's see what's going on right here. We have Audrey Snell up. Taking her time. Definitely knows that the Arsenal definitely needs every single thing. That ball dropped out her hand, but it was a good drop. Very rare miss in terms of keeping the ball in play for Audrey, but you know what? She definitely got the carry she deserved based on her first 2 or 3 shots. And Ocasio definitely responding. So Audrey working with a double right there. Matthew Rodriguez up. And now the 7-pin. The 7-pin standing up and fighting. So the Lipper up, Robert Lipinski up on lane 18. Struck last frame. And that is definitely not a strike. That is half a loaf. That is a 5 count right there. And it is Sunday, and we have our look at the Greek church. Definitely unfortunate leave. The 3, 4, 7, 9, 10. And definitely no problem on the 7-pin. And now at this point, you have to shoot it as hard as you can and try to focus on the 6 and the 10-pin. Still gets the wood. And in a tight match that you have between both handicap pairs, you definitely want to get as much wood as you can. Every pin counts. All shots matter. Kevin Harity leaving the 10-pin, almost leaving the 7-10. Let's see if Tyler Polachek maintains that same advice that Ocasio said before. He said, take your time. Let's see if he does just that, and let's see if he takes advantage of the opportunity. And wow, very good shot. Letting that ball roll out and letting it come back. Keeping it smooth and simple is Tyler Polachek. And Harity, wow, just gave the opportunity back. So Lipinski before opened the door. And, well, being polite and right there and being chivalrous, he definitely opened the door back. So Harity definitely opened the door back. You saw Ocasio taking the time to acknowledge his teammate on the scratch pair. And let's see if we're going to acknowledge him. And we acknowledge that he left the 2-pin. And that ball driving in a little sharp for Audrey. Thankfully for her, she did not leave a split. She was working on a double, so that 8 count could hurt a little bit, especially in a situation where you need everything and your anchor just flagged the spare. Ocasio smoothing that ball up and taking out the 2-pin, no problem. Rob Lipinski definitely needs to shake off his last frame and just focus on the next frame at hand. You got to have the memory of a goldfish, got to focus on one frame at a time. And Audrey focuses all over her spare. Great spare conversion by Audrey Snell. The Lipper Robert Lipinski lets that ball roll out, and that ball comes in real sharp, almost leaves another split, but instead, instead of going from disaster, that ended up being a delight. From disaster to delight, right there for Robert Lipinski. Now let's see if Chubbs right now, Tyler Polachek, can stay smooth and keep it going. Gets that ball way out. But that ball had no problem, had a GPS on it. Touching the one board was Tyler Polachek. Matt Rodriguez's response to that. Polachek showing that he's definitely got some area. So right now, anchors doing what anchors are built to do, and that's set, and not only keep the pace up, but being the foundation. How ironic it is that they're on the bottom in terms of where they're placed in a team game, because they're laying groundwork and they're laying a foundation and giving a team something to stand on. And he's standing on business right now at this point in time. Let's see if Kevin Harity can match the energy of Polachek. Takes a little surface change, a little ball change, and gets the 10 to fall extremely late. That was a little late night drop for the 10 pin on lane 18 for Kevin Harity. Looking good for the game as well as the overall wood on handicap pair 1 is the Takeover. Similar situation is happening over on handicap pair number 2. So like I said, they are definitely going to leave some scars on the Arsenal, who looks like they may take the overall victory as James Ocasio takes all 10 pins off the rack. But at the same time, the Takeover is definitely going to have some points and leave a lasting impression on the Arsenal. Audrey Snell leaving a 10 pin. Let's see if she continues to put her accuracy on display. 10 pin, no problem on her spare. Shout out to everybody who's sat here through the broadcast. Whether you just stopped in for a bit or if you sat here for the entire time, we thank you for your time here checking out New Jersey Northeast. And let's see, missing the oil a little bit, gives the 10 pin a little shimmy and a shake, but it does not budge. The 10 pin decides not to be a follower, but it displays its leadership skills and sticks around just for a little while longer. You're checking out the Takeover versus the Arsenal. Currently, scratch pair is up by, well, an astonishing 300 or so pins. Only pair right now the only two pairs are handicap pairs 1 and 2. They're definitely standing up and fighting for their team. And showing fight right there was Rob Lipinski on his 10 pin make. Papi Chulo, James Ocasio said they putting some things together, and from the looks of it, they're putting together quite a versatile team, if I might say so myself. And Polachek looking for 4 in a row. And 4 in a row. That's how you do it, especially if you're trying to finish the story and finish the matchup for this pair. They're trying to finish the matchup. They want to finish the matchup. Let's see what the Arsenal has to say. The Arsenal says that they're still here. And let's see what Harity has to say about it. Oh, Harity had something to say with a great shot, but the 10 pin had something to say about sticking around. I'm not going to say throw it better because I don't know how much better he could have thrown it. And right now, the Takeover, they definitely showing something here against a very tough team. No disrespect to the Takeover, but the Arsenal has been making waves as of late. But let's not forget, the Takeover has been around for a very, very long time. You know, they're going through ups and downs, and right now it seems like the downs might be looking up based on what we're seeing today. With their blend of handicap and their scratch pieces that they have, maybe they might be acquiring some more. We don't know. It's a long season. But right now, based on handicap, they definitely have, well, dare I say, an arsenal of bowlers that could pose a lot of problems for a lot of teams in the New Jersey Northeast. And James Ocasio up and mixes it up, taking all 10 pins out. And that's a double for him. 7th, 8th frame. 7th and 8th frame right there, strike and strike. Potential nice finish for him. Potential 227 finish for James Ocasio. Rob Lipinski with 3 more frames to go. Let's see what Audrey can do on her 10 pin. She has been steady in terms of her spare shooting. And Audrey didn't come all the way up on that, and unfortunately misses that. And usually when you start seeing that may be signs of defeat. We do not know. There's still 2 more frames to go, and we all know that anything can happen at any time. That's why you have to always keep the same energy until the lights on the lanes turn off. And we got a re-rack right here on lane 17. We're going to take a look at Matt Rodriguez on lane 18. All right. Matt didn't like the way his feet fell on that shot, but still got 3 in a row going into his 9th frame. Still a potential 255 finish for Matthew Rodriguez. Lipinski up, the lipper. And definitely not exactly what he wanted to see. You do not want to give any pins back in this situation. And pushing all 10 pins back off the rack was Kevin Harity. Lipinski in the wood, and all over the wood was Lipinski. And we're going to see what Tyler Polachek can do right here. Chubbs up. And, kicking out the 10 pin was Tyler Chubbs Polachek. Big time. 5 in a row right there. 2 in a row so far for James Ocasio. They're trying to put them away for game number 2. Let's see if James Ocasio can add another strike and make that 3 in a row. 9th frame. Ocasio likes it, but his ball stops and he leaves the 2 pin right there. Audrey Snell leaving the 10 pin. That 10 has been a nuisance to Audrey. Has not been throwing any bad shots. The one shot that may have been a little bad when she dropped it out of her hand, she got the carry she wanted. She's throwing good shots and not getting the results that she feels she deserves. Ocasio all over his spare. Every pin is a must at this point. Audrey, she likes that at the hand. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that ball was going to hold on. That's 2 rare. Again, I say rare 10-pin misses for Audrey Snell. And Lipinski up, fires that ball, puts a little more speed on that one. Potential 191 finish for Lipinski. Update on the scratch pair. It seems that the scratch pair has swept on lane 15 and 16. The Arsenal swept them all 3 games, and total wood, they beat them by about 341 pins. 341 pin deficit on the scratch pair. So there's 10 points on the scratch pair that go to the Arsenal. Tyler Polachek did not like that out the hand, leaving the 2-8. Matt Rodriguez leaving a 10 pin, backs the ball up, and the ball skates past the 10 pin. Definitely not what he wanted. And all over the spare. Both handicap pair 1 and 2 had a lot to make up. They're not going to make up the 341 pin deficit on the scratch pair, but they are definitely going to leave here with something. And Kevin Harity right there burying it, double going into the 10th for Kevin Harity. And Audrey saying screw it and just throwing it. She had a lot of muscle, a lot more muscle than usual on that shot. Maybe frustration from the 2 missed 10 pins. Let's see what James Ocasio can do right here. Pulls that ball inside, and 10 pin stands up and fights. Audrey up, and Audrey leaving the 5 pin. We got a 5 pin leave, almost a 5-7 for Audrey. Very important spare for Ocasio here, and Papichulo all over his 10 pin. Pretty much an even game over here on handicap pair number 1. Audrey all over her 5 pin. He needs everything on this shot. Gets that ball out. And he got everything there. He liked it just as much as he liked the first shot. And you can hear James saying in the background, he said, I needed the first one. And even though they're up, you needed to make sure that you're safe and comfortable. And speaking of comfortable, Matt Rodriguez looking very comfortable on his first shot in the 10th frame. Now, Rob Lipinski was having some struggles on his last shots. He definitely does not need to struggle here. They need him to keep a playable shot. Strike will be good, but makeable spare is also good. And I speak it, and it appears a makeable spare. Now, the key about a makeable spare is you have to make it. Let's see what happens right here for Rob Lipinski. And big double from Matt Rodriguez. The game is really going to come down to the anchors. It's all about putting down some good work for the anchors to work with. And Lipinski going to get the ball out. And that ball's got to hurry up. And whoa, that right there, that 10-pin shot had skinny jeans on it. That was tight, and that was nerve-wracking to watch, and probably nerve-wracking for him to experience. But he can rest easy. Matt Rodriguez putting 3 big shots up at the end, and we're going to see exactly what happens in the 10th frame. All right, Robert Lipinski got a much-needed spare for his team, and leave the 10 pin again, but at least he had an opportunity to get at least those 9 more pins that he just got. So now the story is that Kevin Harity has a double working on the 10th frame. Chance to tie it up right here. And, oh, message delivered, message received. Can it?
Arsenal, it's an arsenal.
Yeah, Petey.
And right now, 2-pin advantage. 2-pin advantage right now for the Arsenal on handicap pair number 1. Let's see if he can match that up. And, yep,
Yo, bud.
ice in his veins, ice water. So staying up right there with a much-needed strike was Polacek. Kevin Harity, ever since making that surface change, definitely likes the ball reaction he's getting, and he made it at a key moment, at a key time in the match. And right there, double in the 10th right there. So now, right now, it's strike for strike. Now, Tyler needs to strike right here to force Harity to strike. Now the advantage is for the takeover. He needs it all. And a 7-pin stands up on him. And unfortunately, that is going to cost the takeover game 2.
Over the line, mark it at 0.
And big time 10th frame for Kevin Harity. Polacek needed that strike. But the overall wood still goes to the takeover. Well, miss right there did not matter. So 6 points, 8. And we're going to take a look over at handicap pair number 2 to see the finish. So 10 points were lost for the takeover. Arsenal taking 10 over there. The takeover over here took 6 points total. And Doug McFarlane right there taking out the 10 pin. All right. Talking over here to Ocasio.
Yes.
That had been a tough loss right there.
Oh, that first pair, man. They got obliterated, man.
Yeah, but even over here in this game, you guys almost ended up getting 8 points on there.
Yes.
That's how you guys lost it.
Yes. So, I mean, it was tough because the first game we lost by under 20 pins.
Yeah.
Second game we won. And the last game we lost by what? Like 11 or 12
but
pins.
Total wood.
But then we got total wood. So literally, we could have swept pretty much if you think about it. Yeah. So it is what it is. I mean, they are a tough team. We're happy, we're good vibes. It's the first match. We got a lot of matches coming up.
And you could get 8 points over here.
And we could get 8 points over here, and we'll take that for now. You know what I mean?
All right, nothing wrong with 14.
Nothing wrong with 14. We'll walk out of here with 14. Yeah,
14 right there.
Yeah, let's go. This actually comes up down to. No, actually we got it.
Yeah.
Even if he misses, I think we got it. Yeah.
All right, so 26-14 look like it's going to be.
Hey, we'll take that. And we'll take that with our chin up high against the number 1 team.
We've been seeing this jersey around for a long time, and look like y'all trying to take over again.
Yes, we're back, bro. We got new members. We're just settling in. A lot of people couldn't show up today because it's a Sunday match. But you see us next month. I promise you it'll be a different outcome. Let's get it.
And shout out right here over to the Takeover, putting up a great fight. The Arsenal that came out, you know, the Scratch Pair, Scratch Pair definitely did their thing, and they swept. But the Takeover, you know, like a good neighbor, the Handicap pairs were there, and they still made sure that they still got a big piece of something. 14 for the Takeover, 26 points for the Arsenal. All right, once again, it's the voice of choice, Shondike Faison. This has been UBA season tour stop here, New Jersey Northeast, here at Montvale Lanes. Look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. UBA all day.